Happy Friday, all. This is a very well-known group of folks to each other, so welcome to Upstream Marketing. And we are doing a bit of a working session today. I'll start by presenting just so we can get everybody on the same page. We wanted to work through the community report today, write up how we did, have a call to action around advising people to go through it themselves. The intention was to write a blog post on the .dev domain, and then once that's published, to email it to the SIG leads as a reminder that they should also go through this and look through the lens of their SIG for improvement opportunities, and maybe even a follow-up blog post for them if they'd like. Did I get that right from last week? Last week was a long, like many months ago. Cool. All right. And since then, had a couple requests come in that, I want to leave us time for the working stuff, but we should probably at least cruise through our normal agenda because they're, as we noted last week, we're kind of in demand now, and that's neat. Got new items. Gonna add this. Okay, so start from the top. Any big ones we should hit on that have come up? Ooh, did folks get through their review of KubeCon proposals? Because I feel like a lot of us were on the hook for that. Yeah, thumbs up. And in the future, if you're interested in reviewing KubeCon proposals, just let either Caslin, me, or I bet Bob knows this too. It's a cool opportunity to see an intersection of what's going on there, and it's like a nice way of donating some time to the larger projects. So keep that in mind. Great. We're gonna skip any campaigns because there's nothing to highlight except what we wanted to focus on. New requests. Got a message from Ray who asked us to share about the security third-party external audit RFP coming to a close on July 6th. Yes, just for some tweets about that. So I was hoping we could scope that out as well. Caslin, when we have, like a week or so to go, do you have a routine of doing like a couple and just auto tweeting them through TweetDeck?
Yeah, I often tend to do that when it's kind of close, and generally with the changes to the repo, which I still need to practice with. Need to work on that. Maybe I should do it that way.
Yeah, and also, I mean, I feel like just scheduling in this case, like we don't have a scheduling option yet to auto publish. So yeah, TweetDeck is totally appropriate.
And this is also relevant to what we were talking about last week, where we were talking about needing a guide on process for security announcements. I mean, it sounds like this is not something that would be particularly sensitive, but still a nice reminder that need to work on that. I just got a bunch of stuff kind of out of the way at work, so that might be something I work on during the working session as well.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, it'd be really good to have.
Great. So if anyone is feeling inspired to draft a tweet or two, I added kind of like the template I told Ray we kind of use, and the CTA, they'd like us to get people to this markdown file. That's the RFC. I guess from like a community touchpoint point of view, like we can send them here to review it, but I guess I want to make sure it's clear how somebody comments on it. Am I missing something? Is there an associated thread, or are they supposed to respond? Because I'm imagining people might just respond to the tweet, be like, I think you should do this, and you're like, that's not going to be heard. How does that work?
Surely there's something in here. If we don't find it, we can always ping back and ask, I guess.
Huh.
I just asked in Slack.
Oh, you did? Good, thank you.
Can anyone please share the link for the project dashboard? I can't find it.
Sure. Yeah, they're hidden here.
I feel like that is a frequent problem for me. Also, welcome, Kunal.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Do you like my new setup?
Yeah, I feel like I'm watching you on your own talk show, which inevitably you'll have.
Yeah, there's one for, I should not be saying it right now, so no spoilers.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's all good. Okay.
He just responded. They have a form people can respond to. If you go back to Slack, he just linked it.
Yep. Yeah, I see that. So the question being, like, I guess we want to make sure people read it first before they start sending feedback. But that makes me think the call to action is the form, not the markdown.
Yeah, you'd probably want to link both because they need to read the markdown to be able to provide comments on the form.
That'd be kind of unfortunate in Twitter, though. I know when I want to click a link in a tweet, I always click the one that's like featured in the little like window that they make.
You just ask them to put the form in. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeez, Kathleen. Sorry.
All good. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can we just ask them to put the link in that document? Just be like, hey, listen, review the document, place your comments here. That would probably be the easiest thing. Like it ought to be there, right?
Yeah. Matt just asked. If not, then one other option would be to do a top level tweet with like the go check this stuff out, and then a reply tweet with, and here's the form where you go to, which will get far less views, and we will probably still get some of those comments if anyone comments like, I want to add this. But at least it'll be there. We'll see if we can PR it in though.
Be the RFP. Oh, it's like there's a link to the form in the RFP in this section. Anticipated selection scheduling. Did I just miss it? Anticipated.
Questions can be submitted here.
Oh wow, that's a deep,
not discoverable.
That is a deep.
Did the project board like get changed a little bit? There were a few more tasks that I saw last time.
So there are two boards. One is intended to be like an editorial board for articles in progress, and I think that includes your work. And
that's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. This Project 39 is for kind of team project improvements. This is yours. Okay. Of course.
This is the one I was looking for.
Thanks for asking.
I have like 100 tabs open. So
proposals are scheduled. Okay, cool. Anticipating. I'm just working with Ray on how to question this. I think, Kaslin, for the sake of expediency, we could do that threaded tweet type thing, like read the RFC and then submit to the form.
I'm thinking we could use the link he just gave us to the specific section where that link is and mention, look for the, take a little bit of that line, look for that for the form that you need.
Okay, cool.
How much you can fit in a tweet when you're determined.
We'll try it.
Okay. If that doesn't work out, then we'll do the threaded thing.
Yeah, I might just PR an update to that RFC to see if they'll accept it too. But in the meantime, I'll keep the header the same because I don't want to mess with anything. Any linking, that is. Okay, questions 1, 2. to a crystal clear message. This works for now. Thanks, Ray. Cool. Very fun. Love when people request stuff right when we were meeting anyway. That's so much more convenient. That was crazy timing. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to stop sharing so we can see each other's faces. But going through next steps, yeah, our goal today is still kind of help along this community report and get it visible across things. There's a thread we were tagged in by Paris in Slack. There's but her first request was Divya's article get another set of eyes to be reviewed and try to get that published. I feel like, you know, normally blogs are the ultimate owner here, but we can try to offer a look good to me if Tim is good with it. Oh, Bob, I see you made some minor fixes already.
I went through a good chunk of it the other day.
Cool.
There were some like other outstanding nits and things like that, but like I wouldn't consider them blockers.
Cool.
That's one thing I was explaining to Ian last week when they asked about the security communications conversation that we had. One of the things I was trying to explain was our relationship to the blogging group. I feel like that's something that could confuse a lot of people.
Oh gosh, yeah, it confuses me to be totally honest. Like,
yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like, in a nutshell, we have like in a completely in the Venn diagram of us, we have a lot of scope that doesn't fall into it, and then blog has a very clear scope of owning that blog, which is such a high throughput channel that is more than enough scope for any group. But like we've slowly shifted more and more over to be relevant in the blog as well. You know, my intention was to completely separate us, where if it's on the dev blog, it's ours. If it's on the .com blog, it's clearly not. And if we want to participate, it's outside of this group. But I don't think we have kept the clear demarcation. But others have thoughts and comments?
I feel like it's part of our glue work, where if people need to do a blog and they don't understand how that works, because we can all relate to that, then we can help connect them to the blog group and help get that through. But we should probably clarify that in some of our documentation and stuff. Not that people look there, but
there are also times where you do want to publish on the main like Kubernetes blog.
Totally.
Like it depends on the audience.
Yeah, Kazlan, how did you just word that? I really like that.
That it's part of our glue work in helping to enable people who want to create a blog post. We can help connect them to the group that does that, or we can help them find the right blog, since we have some visibility into both styles of blog, which a lot of people don't have. It can be really confusing. People don't really know how the blog system works, even if they want to post a blog. So we can help there at least.
That's great.
But we also have another job, right? Because like the other thing I've noticed is like all those contributor comms messages are like, hey, can you help us either tweet something out or get the message out about something? So there's a, because that's where I got confused. Because like, well, at first I was confused about the blog thing, but that's actually makes a lot of sense, right? So we'll help you get in the Kubernetes blog, the .com blog,
yeah,
you know, and so, we'll also help you decide if you should be there or in the dev blog. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was interrupting you because I was getting excited. Yeah, you're exactly right. That so our very first action that we took as a group, and the main thing that we tried to maintain from the beginning, is like clear communication channels. Like that was what we were solving for. That's in the announcement blog post of this working group. It's that one of the number one complaint of contributors is that they don't know where they need to be and who's telling what message when. So we did a lot of work up front. It was Jonas Roslin, myself, and Paris was huge in that. Bob was part of it. Caslin jumped in soon. Like we basically mapped all of the channels out and set some default ones and defined like levels of importance so that it felt like there was a single way to message people. But it kind of became mostly a solved problem, and now we just remind people that exist and kind of nudge them towards those channels. So that's like our persistent background work. But like the larger, mission is to help people effectively communicate in the Kubernetes community. And that is, as like Chasm put it, like that's more glue work than anything else. We don't need to own the blog. We don't need to own a website. We don't need to own a channel that often. Like we do the Twitter one because it didn't exist. And we mostly just want to help people get to the right place. It's this fun service team at its core.
Okay, so we're like not quite ombudsman, but like some sort of like. So yeah, all right. So the job is to just help people get the information they need to do what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah,
customer service. We're a customer service team.
Yeah, right? we're with customer service team with a marketing problem. Yeah. Right. But I think that's our minimum viable team. Like if we have the time to scale up and grow, like we could be setting the definitive way in which Kubernetes markets itself, and like what terms we use and how we do this differently so that Kubernetes feels cohesive and to its contributors so that they can better articulate Kubernetes value and the values of being a member of our community. That's like a much larger aspirational scope. And I think, with volunteer teams like we all are, like I think we just kind of sometimes we get these big moments of like, let's think big and dream big. But most of the year we got to just kind of stay small and be consistent. And that consistency is valued more than those big moments alone. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Yeah.
That makes sense. So the only action that we have two things that we definitely own: tweeting and the dev blog.
Tweeting especially. Dev blog is partially unowned, and like Bob's basically given us permission to claim ownership, and we started to, and honestly I lost those extra hours to like bring that campaign all the way through to the sense where people feel like it's a place they should contribute to and they know how to contribute there. So I feel like that's a stalled project that we still have the opportunity to take up, but is just kind of mostly existing in a few of our heads.
Okay.
Yeah. If you want, we could spend some time plotting that out, like how to bring that all the way through. I feel like we got really close and just a ton changed in my job where I couldn't do it on during the week anymore.
I was actually just looking at that, and we had a post in May and we had a post in June. So if we're doing monthly blogs, we're actually kind of on track. We could start doing that and try to have one in July. Would be lovely.
I appreciate that so much. It's like when you don't meet your own expectations, just change the expectations.
Chris's one is also outstanding. Like it
good.
Final review, so that sets you up for July if you just want to have one then.
We're actually in a pretty good spot.
That's cool. Yeah. The other ones that haven't started that when we're ready to get to them, we still could be, .dev could definitely be the channel where people share how they set up their dev environment, like how they set up their dot files, how they set up their IDE to be able to quickly contribute. If they're using like a remote dev environment that are increasingly popular, like talk us through how you do that instead of popping over to Medium and personal blogs and all of the above. Like to have that in a Kubernetes domain, it'll help elevate the search engine optimization of that domain so that people see all the other great community stuff on there. But also it's just really fun content, like everyone telling their personal story of how I stay involved and the tech behind it is really, you get big numbers on the internet with stuff like that. I feel that, Jason. Well, cool. Okay, so we've got things in progress. I'm looking at Divya's article. Do people want to talk through the SIG usability report? Or can someone speak to that and take a look?
I think there were still some outstanding comments on it, but for the most part, it was in pretty good shape. Find it again.
Cool.
It looks like the last comments were on 17 days ago. Just minor like spelling mistakes and or spelling mistake and capitalization stuff. So it should be pretty close.
Great.
As a general FYI, Rolf DH and Nate W are both tech writers by trade. This could also be another one that we post on the KDev or the Kates.dev blog sort of first, and then update the some with a little metadata header to reference that one.
Okay, so this really is an announcement post. It's not a look at the data. It's not like a reflection on the data.
SIG usability?
Oh, my bad. I was looking at the one that's titled announcement post. Okay. The community group annual reports one.
I was looking at the second one.
Okay. Let's take it. Sure. Yeah, both links are in the. Let me grab them. There you go.
Divya's right now is a priority to get that one sort of out the door. We want to get it published at least before like the end of the month.
And I'm trying to keep wrapping my head around what is it we want somebody to learn by reading this? Like what is the new knowledge they're picking up? And my understanding right now is that like, okay, there's this new report that will help the SIGs better serve the community.
It's less targeted for the SIGs and more for anyone else that is interested in well, it does help others sort of learn about what some of the other SIGs are doing. But there's a general call to action in the bigger annual reports of just like the areas where SIGs need help.
Cool.
The actual like report is like 20 pages long.
Yeah.
It's
and that's what I would love to spend some time going through and like pulling out a couple factoids that make it exciting so that people read through 20 pages. This one, it's a little hard to put my finger on if there's a way to make it like pop to a reader, like answering the question of like, what's in it for me to read this article?
Sorry, and to be clear, you're talking about the SIG usability one?
No, yeah, it's
You're talking about Davies.
Yeah, the
Yes.
announcement of the upstream community group annual reports.
Yeah.
It's an announcement, but there's not like a call to action to read the report. There's a link to past reports. Okay. Hey, if this meets the need of what the team needed, then it's perfect. I'm just like going through my sort of content feedback questions and just didn't, maybe I don't know what we're solving for on that one.
And we would like people to read the report, but it's more so like it's also just like, hey, these exist now.
Cool. Hey, it's important to acknowledge that. Like that's great. Okay. So I think looks like
If you have comments, I'd say, go for it and leave them on there.
Yeah, no, I think as scoped, it's good. I think there's just a completely separate scope I have in mind of something that like starts to consume that elephant of a report into pieces that will excite people and give you like a quick taste of what our curated takeaways would be from it.
Yeah, but if you keep the mission small here, right, and the title is just announcing it, and that that announces it just fine.
Exactly. Yeah, and it gives you insights into last year. My brain goes to structure so that people can see the different sections. Like H2 headers are really helpful to break up text, but I couldn't quite. I don't think I could do the demarcation on this one without restructuring it, and I'm just getting in too late, and that's fine. I think it's good as is.
Yeah, it's six paragraphs, so it's really short, right? So
Kunal he had a drop, but his post on usability pretty rock solid.
Yeah, like in future, right? Like based on what Paris said, when we do those things, we should go back and reference the annual report and make sure that we ask them when we interview, hey, like, can you elaborate on the help that you want? But that happened after he wrote that, right? So it doesn't make any sense to go back and change it now.
Yeah. Don't
throw a card on this project.
Shoot, I wish.
Hey Matt, can I get? I know we were going to talk about this the other day, but and maybe I can take this offline. But I'd like to be able to update the project board. I think it's 35 or whatever. 41.
41. Yeah.
It's not crucial, but it'd just be
good
handy to keep that up to date. Not that you're keeping it up to date, fine. That's not a criticism. I just also want the ability to move the cards.
No, I do not want to be the sole proprietor of that board, and I just need to remember if that means org status for you. Like if that's the next step, is that you're missing org? Yeah. Okay. Oh, now I need to, Bob, allow me to be lazy and ask you, like, remind me where I go to get him going on that. I know he's got to make a request to be added to the org.
You open an issue in Korg. In the root of the K community repo, there's a thing on community membership.
Yes.
Yes.
Just
as a general FYI, you will need at least a couple PRs or issues under the belt before filling out the org membership request.
And I'm pretty positive he has that. Right, Jason? Or what's your username on GitHub again?
It's Jason Morgan. I think I got one PR in just for that. Basically updating that to do.
Oh, good.
For our community comms.
Yeah. That's good. Let me open up issues. But I think you've commented on issues too. So yeah, add a step by step. Yeah, you've opened an issue and you've got a, oh, the PR was by me. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where we left it, that I was trying to see if there are any things you could PR in, just so we could point back to that.
Okay, well we can just wait and I'll look for something else to update and put in a PR, and then
reviews and things like that also count. So if you do like PR reviews, those are other things you can link to. But in general, like there looks to be a sort of a minimum. There isn't like a defined minimum, but when checking, they will look for just like, are you actually actively contributing to the project, essentially?
Yeah, and I think I'll make the justification in there that like we are a primarily non-code contribution working group, so we need to acknowledge that in this process.
Yeah, or find a way to change permissions on the board, like without adding membership, right? Oh no, that's not viable.
No, it'd be all or nothing. Essentially, anyone could do it on GitHub, or remember the org.
Okay. We definitely don't want anyone to do it.
Yeah. You're definitely Jason. Yeah. Well, I'll open the issue requesting you get access, and we'll see if we can get that to keep going through.
Well, I can also, I'll also look at, what I have to do and maybe just add some stuff. I don't mind. I can put in the time to get a couple other things there. I guess my problem is I don't know that I plan on the org that I'm joining is the community org or the Kubernetes org.
The Kubernetes org.
Because my thing is I don't think I'm going to be contributing regularly Kubernetes, right?
So it's not repo, it's organization. So most of the stuff that you're going to be contributing to will be within the Kubernetes org.
Okay, got it. So contributing to any repos in the Kubernetes org is a good. Got it. Sorry, folks. I don't mean to be thick.
No, you're good. No, permissions at our scale are definitely worth asking the questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can.
Okay, because I'm like, oh man, I'm not.
I went through it.
Sorry.
Oh.
I was confused when I went through it. You're good.
Yeah, I just started thinking, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to start regularly contributing to Kubernetes. Like, I barely have time to do this. You know?
Yeah, but I'm gonna DM you a couple things. Make sure you've gotten these done, just so you pass that bar.
Cool. Thanks.
Yep. Have 2 sponsors that meet Kubernetes requirements. Oh, you're supposed to open this, not me.
I'm happy to do that.
Whoops. Okay. Here's the partially filled out one that you can copy and paste in.
Thank you.
Yeah, and here is the issues. Good. Sure.
Also, we're still recording, but we're basically doing working session now.
Oh, we've been in
Mention
working
that.
session for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. It might be boring for people to watch on YouTube.
YouTube has way worse stuff than this.
Truth.
No, but
Just
on
thought
that
I'd
note,
mention it.
we can close out for the day for those watching. Thank you for seeing our faces. See you next time.